which is visible. But this load, when you look from the side view, it's acting over here, the beyond this. Be careful, right? The vertical load is acting over here, and this 1000 Newton horizontal load, it is visible and looks from the side view. That means this load is acting behind this. Right, the load is known 2000 Newton and 1000 Newton, the circular cross section is known. So based on this, we need to find out the maximum principal stress, minimum principal stress, and maximum shear stress. For that, look at that vertical load. Due to this vertical load, what happens? It undergo bending. So what is the bending moment which is given by the vertical load into, this is the vertical load, this cross section is over here. At this section, we need to find out the bending moment. Right, from this point to this point, the distance is 200. The moment is given by load into perpendicular distance. We get the bending moment with respect to vertical load. The vertical load moment is given by 2000 into perpendicular distance 200. This will give the vertical moment. And also in addition to this, look at this. Due to this horizontal load, it tends to rotate. Right, about this radius, it tends to rotate. Right, along with rotation, some amount of deflection will be takes place. Right, so due to this horizontal load, 1000 Newton, it tends to rotate. Along with rotation, this amount of deflection will be takes place. Right, due to the deflection, bending moment will be developed, which is given by this 1000. Right, the 1000 into, from this point on this point, the distance will be, the perpendicular distance is 250. Look at this, is the horizontal load and perpendicular distance is 250, because we are finding the maximum stress at this cross section, right? So that the horizontal load into perpendicular distance to this section is 250. So we'll give the horizontal bending moment. Is it clear? Let me explain you once again. So the load is given. I told you that you need to look at the cross section, and at what section I need to find out the principal stresses and maximum shear stresses, right? The cross section is given over here, the circular cross section. At section A, we need to find out that. So here the horizontal load is there, vertical load is there. As you know that due to the vertical load, so it tends to undergo bending, right? It takes place, deflection will be takes place. Due to that, the bending stress will be developed. So due to this load, the moment is given by load. This is the load, and perpendicular distance will be 200. From the loading point to the section, the perpendicular distance is 200. This is the moment due to vertical load. I told you that due to this horizontal load, it tends to rotate. The torsional shear stress will be developed. So, and also due to that, the some amount of deflection will be takes place. So bending moment which is given by load, this is the load, perpendicular distance here to 250. The load into perpendicular distance. It will give the horizontal bending moment. Next, due to this horizontal load, it may tends to rotate. That is the horizontal load 1000 into, so look at this. So this is the horizontal load acting. It tends to rotate about this radius. This is fixed over here. This is the radius of rotation. It tends to rotate like this, just like a cycle pedal. When apply the horizontal load, this is fixed, it tends to rotate. That is, the radius of rotation is 200. If you apply the horizontal load, it tends to rotate, right? So, in which radius it tends to rotate? Along this, right? The radius is 200. The torsional moment which is given by load into radial distance, that is radial distance is 200. So we'll give the torsional moment, that is Newton into mm. So we got all the types of load. So here you have to be very careful. Earlier, what I am doing there, earlier I am finding the bending moment due to vertical load and bending moment due to horizontal load. You have to be listen carefully. Due to this bending moment, I will find that bending stress sigma is equal to m by I into c. So that you get the bending stress due to vertical load. Same thing by using this, I find out the bending stress due to horizontal load, that is mh by I into c. I got bending stress due to vertical load, I got bending stress due to horizontal load. What I will do finally, I am going to take the summation of that. So sigma x will become the horizontal bending load, vertical bending load. If there is direct stress, I am going to take that. But in this, I have find out the bending moment separately. To find out the bending stress, first I will find out the resultant bending moment. Resultant bending moment is given by square root of horizontal square plus vertical square, will gives the resultant moment. By using this, then I can find out the resultant stress, that is sigma x, that is m by I into c, the resultant moment, or pi d to the power of 4 by 64 into c, half of the diameter. So earlier I am finding the bending stress for horizontal load and bending stress for vertical load, then I am taking the summation, right? Horizontal bending stress plus vertical bending stress. But here I am finding the bending stress for vertical load and bending moment for vertical load and bending moment for horizontal load. So I take the summation of this, that is resultant of this, square root of mu square plus ma square, you will get the resultant. For this resultant, I am finding the resultant bending stress. Is that clear here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
In almost all the problems, I need to find out the bending stress, direct stress, and shear stress. It's very simple. Only thing is you need to analyze the load. Here I have taken that. Look at this. For this vertical load, obviously you know that the only bending moment. But while deciding, because of this load, you need to decide that it tends to rotate about this radius and also it undergo deflection. Due to this moment, it tends to undergo deflection like this. If you apply the load from the back side, it tends to undergo deflection along with the rotation. And due to that deflection, due to this horizontal load, the bending stress will be there to find out the bending moment, and due to this horizontal load, due to rotation, the torsional moment is there. Right? This is the main thing here. Right? So I have taken the resultant of this. Once you calculate the resultant, find out the resultant bending stress. Or else you can find out the bending stress separately for horizontal, vertical, and then find out the horizontal plus vertical, you'll get the resultant. So the shear stress, which is given by the simple equation, square. So direct stress is there. Look at this. So due to that vertical load which is acting along the axis of the member, so due to that direct stress will be developed. I told you that you have to be very careful. Look at this. This is the load. So in addition to the bending stress, the direct stress will be developed. Right? This load is not acting along the axis of the member. It's acting at some distance from the axis of the member, right? So due to this, the axial stress along with that bending stress will be developed. This is what I am taking. So direct stress is given by F by A, the vertical load divided by A is pi by 4 d square. As this is compression, you need to take it negative. You have to be very careful. The bottom is fixed and you are going to apply the compression load. The compression stress will be developed. Compression means it is negative. Yeah, look at this. The bending stress will have two values, plus and minus. If direct stress is negative, take sigma b as negative so that magnitude is maximum. Is it clear? To find out the maximum stress, look at this. Sigma x is equal to direct stress plus bending stress. If the direct stress is compression, I need to take the bending stress also, the compression. Right? So you know that. So at one surface that is subjected to the tensile bending stress, other surface it is compression bending stress. Right? So I told you that in I given the example also. Here, I've taken this is the example. If you apply the moment like this for cantilever beam, see, look at this, top will undergo tensile, bottom will undergo compression. Right? So in this case, I have taken the magnitude as negative here. because the direct stress is compression, so that to get the maximum value, we will take the negative bending stress at compression bending stress. So getting sigma x, the maximum magnitude, sigma y is 0, tau of xy, already calculated it, right? Take sigma x, tau of xy, calculate the principal stresses, sigma 1, sigma 2, tau maximum. You know the equation for this. Sigma 1 is sigma x plus y by 2 plus square root of sigma x minus y by 2 whole square plus tau of xy square. Same thing for sigma 2, in the middle you have to take negative. Tau maximum, sigma 1 minus sigma 2 by 2. Clear? Yes, look at this. If the member is subjected to the compression load, interchange the values of sigma maximum minimum. So negative will become the maximum and this will become the minimum because the compression stress, the larger value is with respect to compression. If it is, for example, instead of 1.61, we are getting minus 130. So minus 130, that is, this is compression load, so that you need to take the maximum magnitude in the compression, right? So minus 130 will become the sigma maximum and minus 41 will become the minimum principal stress. So in this case, this is the maximum magnitude which is in negative direction, that is compression. This will become the maximum and other will become the minimum. I will go with the next problem. Any doubts with the last problem though? Is there any doubts?
No, sir.
I will move on to the next problem. A 50 mm diameter steel rod support a 9 kilonewton load and in addition is subjected to torsional moment of 100 Newton meter shown in figure. Determine the maximum tensile and shear stress. Look at this, a 50 mm diameter steel rod. This is given steel rod support a 9 kilonewton load and in addition is subjected to torsional moment. So 9000 Newton which is acting parallel to the axis of the member but at some distance, that is the distance of 28 mm from the axis of the member. And also it is subjected to torsional moment of 100 Newton meter. It is subjected to torsional moment of 100 Newton meter. Determine the maximum tension and shear. Yeah, can you guys tell me that what type of stress will be developed here? At least I need some response, right? I'm at the verge of completion of the
Torsional.
problem. Yeah, torsional. There is shear stress due to this. Then,
Direct stress also, sir.
this
Tensile stress.
Axial stress.
tensile stress due to what?
Direct load, sir.
Yeah, what is the magnitude here?
9000 Newton.
Yeah, yes, very good.
2000.
Yeah, 9000 Newton is a direct load. Due to this, direct stress will be developed. And one of you have told that due to this torsional load, shear stress will be developed. Cross section is known 50. Only these two type of stress will be developed. The one
The
is
bend-
shear,
bend-
bending due to what?
Due to the offsets of 28, due to the distance,
Yeah, very good, very good. Obviously, you are right. If this load is acting along this axis, only direct stress will be present.
yes, sir.
But this load is acting parallel to this, but at some distance. Eccentricity is there, right? So that due to this load, direct
Bending.
stress plus bending. Very good. So direct stress plus bending and shear stress. Look at this. Direct stress, bending stress, and torsion. So this is the first step. If you analyze this, remaining thing it will be in your hand. You can easily get the solution. Not an issue. Look at this, the moment. Simple thing, load into perpendicular distance, 9,000 into 28, you are getting Newton into mm. So for this circular cross section, I is given by pi d to the power of 4 by 64. So that bending stress which is given by m by I into c. M is known, I is known, and c is half of the diameter. You will get bending stress. Again, direct stress due to this load by area simply. Load is 9,000, the area is pi by 4 d square. You will get direct stress. Look at this is tensile. So let's say I have taken plus. So unit is not written here. Be careful, it is Newton per mm square. So I got direct load due to this and bending stress due to this. Next, sigma x is given by bending stress plus direct stress. You can add this. Bending stress plus direct stress 20 plus 4, 24 point something. Or 25 point something. The sigma y is 0. And you have to be very careful here. Many of the students will do the mistakes here. Because if you look at the problem, if it is given like this, directly the torsional load is given. Torsional moment, like that is T is given directly. Many of them what they will do 100 into Newton into meter is that to convert meter to mm, that is 100 into 10 power of 3 into they will multiply some distance. 50 or 25 like that, right? If the load is given, you have to multiply with the radial distance. Here load is not given, the torsional moment itself given directly. So you look at the unit, Newton into meter means its moment, that is torsional moment. So here the load is given, the load into distance you are getting moment Newton into mm. Here the torsional load, torsional moment is given directly, that is T is given directly, 100 into 10 power of 3 meter to mm. J is again pi d to the power of 4 by 32. Refer the data handbook table number 1.4. And R is radius. You get tau of xy. Sigma x is there, tau of xy is there. Calculate sigma 1, sigma 2, tau maximum. I'm not going to tell you the equation once again. It is available in data handbook to find out the values for sigma 1, maximum principal stress, minimum principal stress, and tau maximum. Look at this. Say arranged in the decreasing order, right? Sigma 1, it has to be greater than sigma 2. It is plus and here it is minus. This is the lesser value. Is it clear? Can I move on to the next one?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's very simple problem. And on the examination, it was appeared for 12 marks. Right? The last one, it's also a simple problem which was appeared in the examination for 10 marks. Look at this, if you look at this, it's very simple, but only thing is while taking the distance or moment or load, something like that, some of them will do the mistakes. If you do the mistake initially, you may not get the marks for the proceeding steps. Initial main bending moment to torsional moment to conductivity, that is the main thing. If you do the mistake initially, then the proceeding steps will not get the marks. Look at the design the shaft of overhang crank, which is subjected to 2 kN force. 2 kN is acting at a distance of 300, and the force considered fails in shear. This will be subjected to the shear stress, and which will be fail in shear. Take tau maximum is equal to 75 meganewton per mm square. Look at this is the figure. So depth is 150. And at a distance of 300 mm, 2 kN is acting. Yeah, look at this. Due to this, right, the load into, it is fixed over here. This load from this axis to this, the fixed end, right, the distance is 150, the perpendicular distance. This is the load. Loading axis is over here. And it has been fixed over here. So the axis between the load and this, the point where we need to find out the moment. So it is 150. That is load 2000 into 150. Right? So due to this radial distance, what happens if you apply the load? It tends to spin. right? So the shear stress will be developed. So the torsional load which is given by load into radial distance. So if you apply the load like this, it tends to undergo twisting, right? So that load 2000 Newton is 2 kilonewton is given 2 into 10 to the power of 3, 2000 Newton into radius is 300. So we're getting torsional moment. Due to this, calculate the bending stress M by I into C. So M is known, I is pi d to the power of 4 by 64 into C is d by 2. Sigma B. In this case, look at this, we need to design the shaft. Design the shaft means we need to find out the unknown parameter. So diameter is unknown, pi d to the power of 4 by 64, C is half of the diameter, right? So it is sigma B, it is getting in terms of D. Again, tau is equal to T by J into R. T is known, J is pi d to the power of 4 by 32, R is again D by 2. Calculate the shear stress which is getting in terms of D. Next simple thing, the sigma bending will become sigma x. Sigma x is equal to direct stress plus bending stress. Direct stress is 0, bending stress is there, and shear stress. So this component will fail due to shear. That is, give the condition is given. That means we need to take the equation of tau maximum. Tau maximum equation will be available in data handbook. That is 1.8 F equation. You need to note down this, right? So refer the data handbook for this equation. So tau maximum which is given by square root of sigma x minus y by 2 whole square plus tau of xy square. Y is 0, x is nothing but bending stress, tau of xy you know it. So in this equation the only one unknown parameter is d. So use the calc, you can find out the d. D is getting around 35.71 mm. Yeah, look at this. In this problem, only this, due to this, you have to be very careful. In mistake agutte antandre, many of them will do like this. This load into perpendicular distance, they will take the moment. Moment andre artha madkobeku. Aa loading axis inda, so at the maximum point, distance, the perpendicular distance, you will take that. So if you take this is the axis, see, look at this is the axis. Loading is acting here at this point. This is the axis of the load, and this is the perpendicular distance. So as the distance increases, moment increases. At this point, the distance is maximum, the moment is maximum. Clear? This loading axis over here, and the perpendicular distance, the maximum distance will be over here. So 150, right? So this will be not become what is the perpendicular distance? This will become radial distance, right? So that the moment is given by 2000 into perpendicular distance from the axis of the load to this distance, right? 150. But due to this radial distance, it tends to twist, right? So that torsional moment which is given by 2000 into 300. Calculate bending stress due to the bending moment, shear stress due to the torsional moment. And by using the equation of maximum shear stress, because this component will fail due to the shear stress. So the shear stress is given 75 meganewton per mm square. So if you convert that, it is getting 75 Newton per mm square itself, right? So solve this equation, you will get D is equal to 35.71 mm. So I will go with the last column. This is the last column. Yes, listen carefully. A beam of rectangular cross section, width is twice the width and supported between bearing 2 meters apart as a uniformly distributed load of 10 kilonewton per meter acting, right? Take 45 C8 as the material of the beam and factor of safety is 4. Determine the cross section of the beam. Look at the problem. This problem is just like that the shear force and bending moment diagram, right? I think in mechanics of material, you have come across that shear force and bending moment diagram, right? In that, you are going to take the different types of beam. So type of beam will be cantilever beam, simply supported beam, the overhanging beam. So here, a beam of rectangular cross section. Rectangular cross section is given. Look at this. This is the rectangular cross section. Width is B and depth is twice the width, right? So this is breadth is twice the width, right? So this is the condition given and supported between bearing 2 meter apart. This is the length of the beam is 2 meter. The beam is given which is 2 meter length and has uniformly distributed load. This load, the uniformly distributed load means the load is uniformly distributed throughout the length. Throughout 2 meter, the uniformly distributed load, the load of 10 kilonewton per meter is acting uniformly throughout the length, right? There is 10 kilonewton per meter. So that is given simply supported, a supported beam, right? That means it is rest over two supports. If it is given simply support, the beam is rest over two supports. Cantilever means one end is fixed, another end is subjected to the load. Overhanging means if this beam is rest over more than two supports, then it is overhanging, right? Or continuous. In this simply support is given, it is rest over two supports at the end, which is of 2 meter length. So the load is uniformly distributed load 10 kilonewton per meter. And in this, the material is given. The 45 C8 as the material of the beam and factor of safety 4 is given. Look at that. If you refer the table, yeah, sorry for the interruption. So due to some network issue, there will be some, right? So I will go with that last problem, right? I will explain you once again. Can you able to hear me? Guys, able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, look at this. I will read the problem once again. This simply supported beam is given. Simply supported beam means it is rest over two supports. 2 meter length is given and the uniformly distributed load is given 10 kilonewton per meter is the uniformly distributed load and the material is given 45 C8. For that, from table number 1.10 at the end of the data handbook, you may get the ultimate stress for this, which is 620 Newton per mm square. But for the design of the ductile material, I need to take the yield stress which is given by, so you need to note down this 0.6 times of ultimate. So they are getting around 372 Newton per mm square. Right? So this is not our design stress. If you design for this case, for example, due to this load, if this material will induce a stress around 373 means the material will fail.
Sir, PPT is not visible, sir.
PPT is not visible.
Sir.
What about now? Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, look at this. The simply supported beam is given, which is rest over two supports. right, which is of length 2 meter, the 10 kilonewton meter of uniformly distributed load which is acting throughout the length. For this 45 C8 material is given. For that, from the table number 1.10 at the end of the data handbook, you may get that ultimate stress is 620 Newton per mm square. So to find out because for the design case, we need to take the yield stress. So for ductile material, yield stress which is given by 0.6 times of ultimate, is getting around 372. This is not our design stress. We need to take the working stress, right? So for that working stress, the factor of safety is given. For almost all the problems in the next chapter also, if they not given factor of safety also, we need to consider that. So we need to take the working stress or allowable stress. We know that factor of safety which is given by yield stress by allowable stress which is given by yield stress by factor of safety. That is 372 divided by 4 is given. If it is not given in the problem, you may take from 2 to 3. You can take it 3 if it is not given. It is given in the problem itself, the factor of safety is 4, yield stress is 372, so you are getting 93 Newton per square. So only due to this transverse load, you know that only bending stress will be developed. Right, that sigma B is given by M by A into C. M. Look at that. From table 1.4, page number 15, you may get the maximum moment for this case. For simply supported beam subjected to the uniformly distributed load. So may directly get the maximum bending moment. No need to, what is that, find out the maximum bending moment, finding the reaction force like that. You can directly get that maximum moment WL by 8. WL into 2 by 8, right? That is WL square by 8 is there. You can directly get it from the data handbook. So W is 10, L is 2000, convert the meter to mm by 8, you are getting maximum moment. Once you get the maximum moment, calculate BHQ by 12, B is given, H is equal to 2 times of B by 12. You are getting I in terms of B. So sigma which is given by M by I into C, sigma which is given in the problem, the material is given, the sigma allowable 93, M is known, I is 2 by 3 times of B to the power of 4. So here C is H by 2. H by 2 means H is equal to 2B. 2 to get cancels, remaining B. So all this you are getting B and H. Just the simple thing here in this problem. If the problem is given like this, any type of beam, calculate the maximum bending moment for this. And if you want to find out the unknown parameter, assume the material if it is not given in the problem. Assume the material, or if the material is given, find out the yield stress, allowable stress by using the factor of safety. Thus, allowable stress will become the maximum stress, that is sigma X or sigma B. Then by using this equation, calculate B and H. This completes the first part of the module 1.